Hello again. Long time no see. So, on this one, I want to just share an experience I had with you guys. I've already explained that I'm a seer, and where I see most and where I get most of my messages is in dreamland. Um, I wouldn't consider myself that powerful of like a psychic. Um, Honestly, while I'm awake, I mean, I do get messages and stuff while I am awake, but where most of my strength resides is in dream world. And I had mentioned in an earlier lesson how I was able to start flipping the humiliation ritual around. And a big part of that was I was able to start speaking, right? I was able to speak in my dreams. Before, and I'm going to share with you the dream where this was a monumental moment. And before this moment, a lot of times I really wouldn't speak in my dreams. Um, and if I would, it was more like, I was in like a loop, you know. But on this moment, this experience I'm going to share with you is definitely a definable moment where I was able to start speaking up and controlling the dream with my voice. Okay? This probably happened around a year and a half ago. Okay? This Christmas Eve, I'll be 36. And about 2 years ago, I started getting all these memories back. Started having more spiritual attacks and a lot of vivid dreams. I would definitely say my the Kundalini was starting to wake up for sure. Maybe it had started a little bit before then, but it was definitely I'm starting to go through this experience, and I'll share this on another lesson more about the Kundalini awakening, because that is a very intense and specific experience, and one that is important to the path. Okay, and a lot of people, I do think a lot of people get it confused with just maybe like headaches or like other things. It is a very specific experience. Anyway, I digress. This dream, okay. Um, I'm in like an old Burger King, but it's empty. Okay, and it's dark. Um, and I'm sitting at a table, right? And I'm just hanging out. And it's just me. And I'm just sitting there in this empty Burger King. Why Burger King? I don't know. What's up, buddy? You going to say hi?
Hi.
Say hi. Say hi, people.
Hi, people.
Yeah. You want to tell them what you've been up to?
Tree.
Hey. All right. So, I'm in this Burger King. It's dark. The lights are dim. And it's like an older Burger King. Kind of like the early 2000s, kind of like type layout. Anyway. And then all of a sudden, this older lady appears at the table next to me. And we make eye contact. I see her, she sees me. And she pulls out pack of smokes and pulls out a cigarette. She lights one up. Big long cigarette, like Pall Mall, Virginia Slim, like 120s, just this long cigarette. And she's puffing away, and she's blowing all this smoke all over the restaurant, and it's irritating me. And I remember I'm like, I look at her and kind of give her a look like, really? And but she's looking at me and she's like, oh yeah. making eye contact, like, yeah, what you gonna do about it? And all of a sudden, finally, I decide I'm gonna say something to her. I'm gonna speak up, but I can't. I'm trying, and I'm going like, and she notices, and she's still smoking, and she's kind of looking like, ha ha, how you can't speak up, can you? And then I decide that I am gonna speak up, and I start forcing. I start just, and I can feel it just bubbling and bellowing up in my chest, up into my throat, and then eventually, and while I'm doing that, this old lady's looking at me, and she starts noticing that I'm really trying, and she starts, she has this look where she almost like that Jack Nicholson meme where he's like, like kind of like looking at from anger management, and he's got that look, and he's just like, yeah, like, and she starts doing that. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. And anyway, so I finally I'm able to do it, and what I decide to say, and it's the craziest thing because I go, "Do you speak English?" And like, the wild thing is I wake up in the middle of that sentence, right? So I wake up out of the dream in the middle of the sentence, and I'm saying it in reality. I go, "Do you speak English?" And I say it just like that. Actually, it sounds way more menacing than that because it was just the type of voice and tone it came out it filled the entire room, and it didn't really sound like me. Like, that kind of sounded like me trying to sound like that, but it sounded different. A different voice. Not exactly mine. And my wife wakes up. It wakes up my wife. Obviously. And she goes, no? She says, no, I don't speak English. And I'm embarrassed because I wasn't planning on waking up and doing that, and that was such a wild experience. But I did notice that after that moment, I was able to start speaking in my dreams, and whenever more humiliation rituals were astrally being projected onto me, or I could tell that people were starting to mess with me in the dream world astrally, as they had been before, and were able to affect me a lot more, I was able to start saying things like, "I don't like what you're doing," or I would start laughing back at them, or I would just start saying my truth, just start saying things about Freemasonry and all the abuse that they were putting me through and just calling them out for it. Ooh. And then I noticed that the dreams, I started to control them more. You want to say hi again?
Yeah.
Say hi. Oh, whoa. Say hi.
Hi.
Say bye.
Bye.
And push the button.